Chlorine kills. Okay. It's a very special holiday edition of the Studio Alliance.
This is here early.
Yeah, and guess what? This season has felt like Groundhog Day. It's the same thing over and over again. And it's wild. There has been a domino lines, other than the week that they turned on Memphis and kicked him out. I mean, the committee has really run the show here, and we're ending up with committee members in the final three.
Right. We're at the point where we're bored. Let's just face it. We just want something to not be planned. And I think as a fan and as an ex-player,
would you take Cody getting evicted? I mean, that's a kid who's played the game really well. So if Enzo or Nicole gave him the boot, is that great TV?
Yeah, that's what I think. That's when you watch the episode, you can tell that the jury wants something. They're like, can someone please make a move for the love of Jesus and everything that's holy? Can someone go ahead and make a move? And I think it's up in the air, but I think everyone on that jury has to believe that Cody has played the best game. And just go
at this point, I think that there's no question about it. His social game has been great. His game with the game has been great. I mean, the kid wins anything he sets his mind to win. We're going to talk about where things stand post the eviction of Christmas, but we do need to get to her exit interview. And Dani, I will tell you something that we noticed after we'd recorded last week. We'd asked 6 questions and we only got 5 answers, and we didn't really realize it until it was all over with. But we asked about, final 2 and who they thought was playing a good game. And I guess the powers that be, Big Brother, decided that you can't let these last jury members talk about all that stuff. So they cut the question. And we asked again this week for Christmas, and they cut it. So we only have 5.
I think that makes sense, because we don't want to know who they're going to vote for, right?
I mean, I do. I want to know what they're thinking. I want to know what's going on in their head, but it doesn't make for good television. So again, this is our first try at it, Dani, doing a podcast. We learned, Rob has a podcast, would never make this mistake.
Of course not. I'm so tired. Are you tired? Like, I'm so busy.
Dani, I'm exhausted.
This for a living.
Well, think about our season. Okay, we walked into the Big Brother 3 house. Do you remember we were at the Universal Sheraton? Josh from our season used to call it the Universally Bad Sheraton. I thought it was a nice place to stay. They had a great Cobb salad. Right? But we were in that hotel July 4th, Dani, and we saw the window would only open like this far, just a little crack so nobody could jump out from whatever floor we were on. And it was that way from the hotel, not from the producers of Big Brother, so we wouldn't escape.
The window and then if you want to smoke, you want to be a sneaky smoker.
The stealth smokers. Oh boy.
This one here, I would have put my nose out.
Because you were in a non-smoking room.
Trying to smoke that cancer cigarette stick like it was my last thing on earth.
It was the stress of going into the unknown. Okay, so here's the thing about that, though. I remember July 4th being the weekend that we went in, and we were in the house 80-something days. So, July, August, September, we got to the, end of September, and the show was over. We didn't get to Halloween, and the season was still going on.
So what the hell?
I got stuff going on in my life. I got things to do. Dani, just so you know, and this is a holiday episode. So we're going to talk about favorite holidays. I don't know for you what yours is, but mine is Halloween. And you know it. You come to town. You and Amy went with me to Halloween Horror Nights. I mean, I was crushed under the news that they weren't doing it this year because of the pandemic, but it made sense. They did open a couple of the houses. I've been there a few times. I'm off topic here, but I love Halloween. And at this time of the year, I'm done with the Big Brother watching, and I'm on to Halloween activities. I'm at the events. I'm doing stuff. So
it's like freaking almost Thanksgiving, and we're still in Big Brother. What the hell is going on?
Be thankful this year for the season to end. I will say this, though. Of our final.
Now I know how the fans felt when they watched season 9? Like, this doesn't seem right.
Oh,
Seems unnatural.
Yeah. Well, when they did the season during the writer's strike, there was a writer's strike. So we had a winter edition of Big Brother. And it was very similar. The contestants weren't out in the backyard a lot. They were in the house because the weather wasn't so great for it. And they did some different kinds of challenges and things. And it is what it is. That's as a fan, I love the season. Even if it's not my favorite season, I love it. Just to be involved in a season. But Dani,
people don't know. You watched Big Brother 1.
Oh yeah, I watched season 1, and let me just tell you, and I know what the live feed fans are feeling right now because you've given your life to this for 3 months. I remember watching Eddie and Josh and Curtis, the final 3 on Big Brother 1. I was watching it on the live feeds. I had the real player through the dial-up modem, streaming it in the worst possible quality.
Watching the live feed.
It was terrible. It was terrible quality. But I was so committed. And I just remember that day I was making lunch, kind of watching it. And it was either finale night or the day before. I don't know when they cut the feeds eventually. And I just remember thinking, I was like, what am I going to do tomorrow with my life?
Live.
I know. But we get sucked in. We love this show. Even when we don't love all the things that happen.
I'm at the point as a fan, I'm talking to them like they can hear me. On the live feeds.
No, you haven't become a good fan until you hit that crazy where you talk to the TV and the feeds.
I'm talking to them. I'm having conversations with them like they can hear me.
They can't.
They can't hear me. And I'm like, that's right. That's right. And stop saying that's it, Enzo, because we know you're lying. Stop. It's not it. It's not it.
That's it.
That's it.
Well, and if he keeps saying it, that's it for Enzo's game.
That might be it, Enzo. So
we'll
like I tell you, it's I need this to be over. This is the longest season in Big Brother history.
And Dani, we are setting ourselves up for a long week because on Wednesday night, the finale airs.
Finally.
So, I mean, we're in the hours countdown, not just the days, but the hours.
Let's check and call it a day. Oh my God.
Write it out. And let's just say this, okay? It would be exciting and dramatic if somebody cut Cody. And that probably will cause that person to win this game.
If Nicole cuts Cody, hands down, you got to give her the game.
She gets the game because as a player who won this game previously, she's got a bullseye on her. She was a target and skated by, and then if she
wasn't a target. I wish you guys stop saying that.
But she was because she came in as a previous winner.
Yeah, but just because you're a previous winner does not constitute that you're going to be a target.
Yeah, I guess she got into that committee and she was a solid ally.
Can we talk about the Dan Gieslings? Can we talk about the Will Kirbys?
Yeah.
Played this game and how they did exceptionally well when they played the second time. So,
but Will didn't win it.
She didn't win it.
If Nicole does that, though, I mean, she becomes the only 2-time winner of Big Brother, like the champion of champions. Like that's wild.
What's the crazy thing about it? She's playing exactly the same way, with the exception she's not in the bed with another guy. She's playing the under the radar, don't do anything, hide behind a strong alliance, usually a alpha male driven alliance, and then she wins the competitions at the end. Like she goes, oh, I guess it's time to play now.
Well,
let me put my hair in my messy bun, and I don't wear glasses anymore because I had the LASIX. But I'm ready to play now, you guys. And let me win a couple comps, and then maybe you guys will cut me the check. But you guys have to admit, if this girl does win this final HOH and cuts Cody, I swear to God, you guys got to give her the game. You have to give her the game.
And Dani, we've teased with her a little bit this season. You do your nasal Nicole.
Nicole.
Yeah. You guys. I can't even do it. Okay, so we had a little fun. We've teased about the showmances. We call her, I joked about Franzel. I teased, but it was really after the Zingbot thing, and she got all frazzled by that. It's been for fun, but I will give her all the kudos and all the props if she goes on and becomes the first 2-time winner of Big Brother, because she's done something that most of us who play the game haven't been able to do, and that's win it. And then if she goes on and wins it a second time, I mean, that's amazing. It's really amazing.
What's hard for me as a player and as a fan and as a person that lost the game, the only problem I have with Nicole is she didn't deserve to win the first time. I don't care I don't care what fan comes out and gives me the receipts, the long CVS receipts. Don't care. Paul should have
printing it out right now.
Print it out right now. I don't care. You're not going to make me change my mind on that. Okay. It's just like you can't make me change my mind. I'm voting for Davon for America's favorite player. It's not going to change.
No.
So I have a problem with her winning the first time. So I don't think she deserved it because I felt Paul's pain when he lost because he was playing that game for such a long time.
Yeah.
It was, in and out. His partner gets kicked out. It was crazy. Paul should have won that game. So when I look at Nicole now playing the exact same game.
You guys, you didn't see it. It's the same game.
It's just like, Jesus. And Enzo had the opportunity to make a move and he refused to make a move, man.
No.
So here you are playing for number 3, possibly. Because if you would have had the opportunity, he's going to have to live with that. That one moment in the live show where he had the opportunity to cut her loose and he didn't.
And he didn't do it.
That's going to haunt him. That is like the hardest thing for a person to overcome.
But don't you think at this point Enzo is playing for second or third? Does he really think if he sits next to Nicole or to Cody? Because if Nicole, is the person who cuts Cody, let's say, and he sits next to her, does he really think that he's going to win this game? I mean, I don't see it.
I don't know if he can think that. I know for me, if I'm sitting in that jury and Nicole cuts Cody, that's a ballsy move. Yeah. But then let me look at the rest of your resume. Because one move to me does not equate for me to give you $500,000.
Yeah.
So tell me, Nicole, how did you play this game for me to give you the money?
All right. Well, that's going to be fun to watch in that live finale night.
Here's the thing. I want to see players who are bold and are going to make bold moves. This season, we did not have the luxury of having that. I think that's why people are so upset. Mm-hmm. No good blind sides. No one making a game-changing move that can flip the game. We didn't get any of that. Right. And Enzo could have given that to us when he had opportunity to kick out Nicole. We would have been like, damn, Enzo, right? And then she would have went into the jury house and people were like, dang, he deserves to win.
Yeah, right? Okay.
But we're at the point now, the jury said, we need someone to make a move. And even Ian goes, whoever cuts Cody, I'm going to vote for. And I'm telling you, right now, Cody has won this game. And the only person that's going to beat Cody is the one that cuts him.
Yeah. Okay.
I personally think Nicole would do it.
This is really exciting stuff, though, if we were to see something happen. But I got to say, and we're going to talk about at the end of this where things stand now, because we know where it's going on the final HOH. We know who won part 1. We know who won part 2.
Right.
And then we're going to make all of our speculations. We're trying to keep it as if we don't know any of that stuff for this point in here to take you back to eviction night on Thursday. But we do want to say, and I started into this and we got on some wild sidebar, that we're going to try, and this, I just want to say, we're going to make the attempt on Wednesday night after the live finale to go live with the Secret Alliance. But guys, there's a lot of moving parts, so we're going to
I'm the West Coast.
Yeah, we're going to do our best.
I took time off of work just so I could be on there.
I know, so no pressure to little brother who's going to figure it all out. But we're supposed to get interviews with the jury members, so that's going to be exciting. Yeah, so they're going to be dropping in, and Dani, it's going to be a free for all. It's going to be wild. I would like you to have a glass of wine nearby. As the night progresses, it's going to get wild.
To talk to Davon. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to talk to David.
Yes.
Even though, as much as I give David, I know I voiced my frustrations with him, but you guys, it comes down to when you want someone to do great in the game so bad that you just get so frustrated. But even, I will say this, even when I watched him during the jury segment, he just frustrates me, because in his mind, he's thinking, well, if Nicole and Enzo played the exact same game and they're sitting at, I have to give it to Nicole because she was a winner. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, David. You're not making sense. Why are are you speaking Chicken George? You're speaking Chicken George.
Oh, he makes a cameo every episode of The Secret Alliance.
Chicken Man, I love him.
Chicken George. I hope he's watching. He's gonna reach out to us and tell us if he is.
Sure,
okay, let's get to eviction night. We had a Thursday night eviction. It sort of went as we would expect. Christmas walked out of the Big Brother house. So the first thing we asked her is about Cody's vote to evict Christmas over Nicole. And at that point, when there was the talk of that, Christmas told Julie that she saw it coming for weeks. But then in the same breath to Julie, she said she was surprised. So we were asking her, which is it, Christmas? Explain what you meant when you talked to Julie after walking out of the house Thursday night.
Yes, I saw Nicole, Cody, and Enzo working together for several weeks and had even expressed it to Memphis multiple times and Tyler. I guess I was just surprised because I did fight so hard, but I didn't know that they had such a tight bond from the very beginning, from day 2. So, I mean, I was surprised because I didn't want to be evicted, but I really didn't think that Cody was going to vote to keep me.
Right. Well, Cody and Nicole have, people forget, Cody and Nicole have a relationship outside this house. She played with him the first time when they both came to play together. She played with his brother. His brother voted for her to win. So you can't expect Cody to cut Nicole.
And I think that's a big thing to remember in an all-star season. Big Brother players, listen up. If there's All-Stars 3, you have to remember those relationships that were built outside of the house that may have even formed on a season or started at some charity event or some reality show event where we all came together. Those things matter, and those are real relationships, and people stand by those versus someone you meet in the house that you don't know of and you create some alliance. Those are very temporary, it seems, and we saw that on this version of All Stars.
I will give this to Cody that people tend to forget about Cody. Cody is loyal to a fault, right? And he was loyal to Derek to a fault. Yeah. I still believe, I would love to ask him this question. I really do believe he thought he was going to win that season because he was looking at the comp wins, how he was good with the social game, but he didn't realize Derek was playing a different type of social game, managing the jury. So Cody, for him to cut Nicole now, say if he did something and did cut her, that she will take that hurtful. She will probably, Cody's the jury is fickle, right? So you have the jury members who are going to vote strictly game, and people are going to vote personal because of personal things that happen to them. Not necessarily mean personal attacks. People take things more personable. So, if Cody was to cut Nicole, Cody did cut Nicole. Nicole might take that personable, but sometimes that's what women do. We are more emotional creatures versus logical sometimes. Nothing against that, unless you, very seldom do you see a woman make a cutthroat decision for the game. And if we do that, we're considered bitches. So this is going to be interesting how this is going to play out. Like, I think if Nicole does cut Cody, then kudos to her. The game, when you play All-Stars, Jason, it's very difficult because you're not playing with strangers. You're playing with people you know. You know on a personal level. You know when things bad happen to them, possibly. You know when good things happen to them. So it's hard when you play All-Stars because you have to separate personal relationship with games. And that's very difficult. I know I had a very difficult time playing All-Stars the second time because I didn't have that killer instinct because I cared about people too much, so. That's a good thing though, Dani. I know it's not a bad thing, but I think when you look at some players that can play like robots, the Dans, the Whales, and even Janelle could be as cold and cutthroat as the baddest players, June as well. Yeah. So it just, at this point, where do you go at the end of this game, do you value your friendship or do you value the money when you play All Stars? Because that's what it's going to come down to.
But let's just say this, though. Cody set himself up in final twos with both Nicole and Enzo. So he's in trouble if he wins the final HOH and then has to cut one of them. Who does he pick? And that's I want to be in his head and figure that out. That I can't read.
He's probably going to pick.
I'd pick Enzo if I'm thinking, but I don't know.
He has to pick Enzo. But if he picks Enzo, does he lose Nicole's vote?
He might, but she doesn't have enough time to really take the jury. Because that's what happened to me. I was third, Dani on season 3, and I went to the jury, and they had made their minds up, and I was like, but Dani played the best game.
They don't,
and they wouldn't hear it. They would not look at Danielle Reyes as the winner. They had already made up their minds.
They already made up their minds. So here's the thing: what you can do as you're in the final jury is to basically mirror the relationship. So say if Cody does cut Nicole, this is some good tea, y'all about to listen. Say he does cut Nicole, right? And then she gets mad at him saying, you had a relationship with Ian. Did you not cut him for game? Nicole, I could not keep you next to me because I really thought you were going to beat me. And when you have that type of relationship or that conversation, a person, there's no comeback from that.
No.
There's no comeback from that.
Well, and that's what Lisa told me when she kicked me out. She said, I can't sit in that final 2 chair next to you and win.
No one can win against you, Jason.
A good decision. I don't know.
But Dani, here's the thing. I didn't care.
You played the heck out of Big Brother 3, Dani.
But the thing is, your and I relationship is different because people don't understand. Even Marcellus has said, people said, Dani, you were so good, but your game was flawed because you wanted to take Jason to the final 2. But at the same time, Marcellus and everybody else that watched me on that season, you guys thought I was the evil carnation of the devil itself. And you guys thought I was this evil person. But I wasn't so evil because I didn't care because I was willing to sacrifice the game for you, Jason. I didn't care. I just wanted one of us to win. And to me, that would have been the best thing in the world. But
and let me just tell you, that was one of the things that was really, I remember being evicted. And one of the things that they don't tell you is they give you security for a few days. So you have like bodyguards with you. They take you back to the hotel. They're with you. And I got to see my family and hang out with them. And I remember them talking and saying, did you really know and believe that Dani was going to be there till the end? And I remember them saying, at the beginning, they were like, we thought she was. And then it was like, you're in the middle and there's like, I don't know, this will be a really good time to cut him. And then they just saw your loyalty through and through. And they were like, we never had any question that Dani was always not just playing for herself. So in some ways I made the game harder for you because I was there, somebody that you had to look out for, which is what happens with a showmance or these bromances or any of those things. But I think the reason that we did it successfully with the Secret Alliance on season 3 of Big Brother is that nobody was looking at us as that duo. So while you were watching out for someone, you did it in such a stealthy way. And the same thing, and I hope that I did the same thing and made you proud in season 3, watching out for you. But because that was the goal. And so for me, when we made it to final 3, I felt like we did really as much as we could do through until a competition. Like we stayed off the block. We did what? We
stayed off the freaking block.
Cody and Enzo did this season, right? We didn't get nominated. No. Now it's down to a competition. And kudos to these 3 players because I remember thinking of that feeling on that night and saying goodbye to Amy walking out the door. And it's pretty incredible. It's something to make that kind of an accomplishment.
Right. And I think it's just kudos for Cody and Enzo to make it to the final 3, never get nominated is unfreaking believable.
I know. In an all-star season, it's way harder than what I pulled off on 3 and you guys.
And then any player who's playing Big Brother, you guys, if you got a person that's been in that house for about 5 or 6 weeks and no one's name dropping them to be evicted, y'all need to, I'm just saying. So we'll see. Oh, let's get back to Christmas.
Because Cody, as we're talking about Cody and his good gameplay, he's doing something in those goodbye messages that is really smart. He's revealing some things to sort of give some information that goes back to the jury house.
Right.
And in this goodbye message to Christmas, he said, there's a second Wise Guys alliance. It wasn't just Memphis and Enzo and you. He said, no, there's a version with Memphis and Enzo and me. So you were cut out of one of the Wise Guys. And we had to know. Christmas, what did you think when you heard that there were these two Wise Guys alliances?
She's probably happy she was included in an alliance. What did she say?
You know, in hearing that there were two Wise Guys alliances, I thought it was a little funny. Like, if there's another alliance, just name it a different alliance name. I don't know. That was the only thing that was confused me, is that why are you going to have two alliances name the same thing? Just kind of get a little bit more creative, maybe.
No, boo-boo. The reason why he named it the same alliance, just in case it got out and there was no confusion. So if they said Wise Guys Alliance, you and Cody would not have no clue that what alliance was they're talking about. So that's why he named it the same alliance, which I thought was pretty clever on Memphis' part. He just picked the wrong guy, Enzo.
Yeah, his final two guy, Enzo,
he
was
picked the wrong
aligned
final
with
two
Cody.
guy. If he picked a different, maybe he had Christmas.
If he had picked Christmas as his final two, that would have worked.
That would have worked, because then he would have had, I don't know, but.
She was committed to Memphis. Have we addressed what the internet thought they saw on the live feeds? I mean, I've seen the footage. What say you? They were just whispering something. Just said a little something, right? What do you think? What do your spidey senses tell you, Dani?
I have no idea what was. I think I know, right? I think they were. I have no comment. Possibly they were just talking. I don't know, because it's inconclusive. And since is she in relationship? She's in relationship. He's in a relationship.
Yeah.
I have no comment to discuss that.
And I think Memphis too.
I think they're going to have to discuss that with their significant others. And I'm sure they rolled the tape, paused it, turned up the volume, did it in slow-mo.
Well, let me just say this, Dani, you know, people would always make fun of me on my season, and I was a single guy. I could get, I was there single, ready to mingle, and I flirted, and I had a little fun on the season. There's some beautiful women there, but I had always said, I don't want them to, put the night vision camera on, and I'm sleeping in a bed with somebody, a woman, and then they play some, music and like pan it out, and they're like, The Verge, question mark. I was like, they could make it look like anything. I was like, so I'm not doing this. And it was funny. I talked to one of the editors at the rap party after. He was like, man, you nailed it. He was like, you knew all this stuff about editing. I was like, yeah, that's what I was. I was a videographer. I worked in video production. You can piecemeal.
You would purposely keep a lot of people don't know about
a foot on the floor. Yeah.
You put a foot, like if you were in the bed and a girl came in the bed with you would actually put a foot on the floor because you didn't want it to imply that you were in the bed with another person. Yeah. It was the funniest thing. And you took the shower with your underwear.
I did. Yeah. So you
take a shower with
you had to
underwear
get your bits and pieces in there, and then I would put the towel on and take those off, and then it was a pain to have to really make sure you'd rinse all the soap out, and then then dry off. Long story. I think it became Did it become a topic on the show? It did. I think there was an episode.
That is commitment to not making sure your stuff don't get out.
I didn't want to end up naked on the internet. That was my big thing, because it had happened season 1 and 2.
In your chonies, that is commitment.
It's a boxers, you can make it happen. You can get all in there.
You said you got to make sure you get the soap out.
I know. Well, we had a pool too. If I didn't get it good enough, I was in the pool in the hot tub. The chlorine kills. Okay.
Women get in a hot tub and like, why am I itchy? I'm itchy because the soap Jason had in his chonies.
That's why I bubbled up so much some days. Okay. We asked Christmas, if there was anything she wished she would have done differently this season. I think this is a question I'm asking myself. Was there anything, Jason, you would have done differently? I think we talked about a few of those. And then we asked your Christmas, anything you wish you would have done differently this season? And any shots you wish you would have taken?
I really wish that I had not gotten distracted and dropped that dang pumpkin out of the shovel. That was a really, really big game-changing move for me and for Memphis. And ultimately, it really led to me popping off at 4th place.
Yep.
Competition. We talked about that a lot, that competitions are so important. So important.
You guys, I can't, like, you know, me as a player now, I suck in competition. So I do. I remember one time in All-Stars, I was left up. It was me and James left. And Marcel was like, why is Danielle still up there? It's so shocking, you guys. I really suck in competitions. But I realized in this season, most of the competitions that were like the Janelle, when she lost her HOH, or when Bayleigh went home, was because Davon got the wrong freaking answer, or when Kaiser was this close to pulling out that HOH. It's always these close competitions that it could just change the trajectory of the game. Yeah. But we don't get it. No. It's those wins. And, you know, people keep talking about these pregame alliances, and I keep telling them it really doesn't matter if our favorite person would have won a competition.
Right.
All we needed was one comp win. One Janelle, right. Kaiser, Bayleigh, somebody. Hell, David. If David would have won a comp.
Oh, I mean, it's at this point, we would have been dreaming for a David HOH. Like, could you have imagined the stuff that might have gone down?
It would have been so chaotic and beautiful and deliciously just tempting to watch it all go down if David would have won an HOH. He would have made my head
hurt. Just think about it for a minute.
But it would have just been so good. It would have been so good.
Dani, there are two things I got to point out. First, here is you were good at competitions on our season. You were good at them in All-Stars. There may have been some players better than you, but the mental competitions, I feel like nobody matches you on those. Dani, you are so strong in those competitions.
Yeah, but I didn't win any.
Then there's a problem. The competitions are bad. No. And the other thing I want to say is
I'm good at competitions where I have to memorize something.
Yeah.
So anytime I need to look at something or memorize something, I'm pretty good at that. Where I don't have is patience. So I get antsy. So Christmas, we're slow and steady on that one competition.
Yeah.
Caused her to drop that pumpkin. And it's amazing where Cody even made a comment that she can't pull through. She's good, but she can't pull through when you need it. And she just needed to pull through, but she didn't pull through.
In that clutch moment, Christmas was not the player.
It's not clutch.
Okay,
no.
Not clutch. All right.
Like
the other thing. Go ahead, Dani.
She's like a good basketball player, but she's not the one you're going to give the game-winning shot to take.
Okay. Yeah. When you got just a few seconds on the clock, and you need somebody to make a shot, and you know every time they're going to make it. She's not that player. Okay.
You got Michael Jordan or you got Scottie Pippen, and you're going to go with Michael Jordan over Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen was really good. Like Jordan really probably wouldn't do as well as those 4 NBA championships unless he had Pippen, right?
Yeah.
But he's not the person they give the game-winning shot to. No Pippen. They give it to Kerr. You know, those people like the Nicoles that cling at the very end, become the savior of all. So we'll see.
Yeah, we will. Okay, the other thing I had to bring up, though, here, Dani, is the committee, though, they proved what this alliance they were 6 strong at the beginning, and then it kind of had some clinger honors and all that. But when you've got about half of the house locked down into an alliance, you have the numbers, so you have the advantage where it is probable, almost a 50-50 shot out of every competition, somebody in your alliance is going to win that. Yeah. And we saw that worked. That probability worked. They won and dominated throughout the season. And then when they had somebody who was a little bit of a peripheral person, they managed to manipulate that person into doing what they needed. Or if they had people looking to vote a different way, they had the numbers to change the dynamic. And it's what happened with Hinky votes, where Davon's just like, everybody is telling me it went a certain way, and it felt so real versus what the actual thing was, that David voted with her. He didn't vote against her. It was Nicole doing that.
Well, you know what? They're all to blame with this, whatever the house wants.
Yeah.
Because they were so concerned about the optics and how people looked and blah, blah, blah. And no one's playing the game for themselves. Enzo nominated Kaser. For what?
Yeah.
It was no point. He was so weak. He had nobody. He was all by himself. And that was a waste of an HOH. And Enzo wasn't even in the committee.
Right. Yeah. He's one of the hanger-oners. Now, it worked well for Enzo, though. He made it a long way.
Yeah,
and he did what they wanted him to do. And that was what the committee, the brilliance of the committee.
That. You do. I know. Stop playing like that. You future Big Brother players, don't do what everybody wants you to do. You do what's best for your game. Yeah,
or you know what? You're going to get booted and you're going to hear those goodbye messages, just like Christmas learned Thursday night. And so we asked her in our fourth question, because our fifth question, as we talked, sixth question got scrubbed. But here are the five. So this is number 4. Can you talk about Cody, Enzo, and Nicole's goodbye messages? Was anything a surprise? Do you have any questions for them after hearing those messages?
After hearing their goodbye messages, I was not surprised to know that they were working together. I think my biggest surprise in that was knowing that they were working together from day 2. And honestly, I wish that they would have looped me into that, because I could have been a huge asset earlier on. But, that's just the way that it rolls.
That really got you, Dani. You don't think she could have been an asset to them earlier on?
Why would we group you into something that's been working great for us? Oh, let me, sorry. So why would we loop you in if we had a 3-person alliance and we're the final 3? That don't make no sense, Christmas. What are you doing, girl? That don't make no sense. You can't sit there and get mad because people didn't include you in an alliance.
Yeah. And that's going to happen every season. You go into Big Brother knowing you are going to be excluded from some alliances.
I knew in my original season, I'm like, no one's approached me. That's a problem, because I'm not approached. That means I'm on the outskirts and I need to find out what's going on. So let me just play it dumb and let these people think they can use me as a vote. And I play dumb. Super dumb, right? If people knew I was a strategist, they would have got my ass out of there a long time ago. But you have to sit there, and you can't sit there and get mad because people didn't use you in the alliance.
Right.
On Christmas, you know better than that. I wish they looped me in sooner.
But it wouldn't have changed the outcome. I think even if she had been in something and knew how tight this group was, she was still the 4th out if she didn't win something at this point.
She had to win something. So unfortunately, she just couldn't pull through.
And then the last thing here, we wanted her to look at Big Brother when she played it previously up into this season. Other than the obvious injury, how was playing Big Brother different this time versus your first time playing the show? Would you go back and do another season of Big Brother? And who would you want to play with on that season?
She was going to say Josh and Paul.
This time is not even comparable to my last time. Even the injury was a huge difference. That last season I was injured from day 13 to the very end. And this time I was fully capable. I loved playing the comps. I came out with guns blazing, playing these comps, letting them know that I was here to play and not to watch. And so, that made it so different. I also loved the people in the house, and not that I didn't love 19, I did, but I knew the people coming into the house this time from previous seasons, watching them. And it was such an honor to play with them. And, to get 4th among so many greats, it was really incredible. In the house, you're like, I'll never do this again. And as soon as I'm out, I'm like, put me back in. I will absolutely play Big Brother again. Who knows what the future holds. It would have to be unique circumstances, I guess, but I don't know who I'd like to play with. It would just kind of, so many different people surprised me by being different than what I expected. So really, if you're in that house, you're going to have a good time.
She didn't give us the names we wanted.
No, she's smart, just in case she gets called back again.
Yeah, there's no record of her saying.
Pre-game alliance Christmas.
She'd go back in a heartbeat. And I know it is a long game, and they're feeling that. This fatigue really
This is
has
the
set
longest season in Big Brother history.
Oh, but I don't know that when it's all said and done, I don't know that it is. Fans, you got to fact check us on that. I don't know the length of this. We'll talk about it on our finale night, hopefully live show. If not, we're going to put one out. And then, Dani, I'm dropping something on you right now.
Oh, no.
The following week, we're going to get...
We'll be done.
We're going to get a chance to talk to the final three here. So we'll get to talk to Cody, Nicole, and
together.
Enzo.
Are they going to be together?
No, they're going to drop in. So we're going to have a couple of minutes with them on the Monday after that, and then we'll get it out later that night. We won't do it live. But
what did I tell you? I told you to be cutthroat, and you weren't cutthroat, and that's why you got final three. Meow.
Well, you never know what's going to happen in the Big Brother house for the meow meow. I think it's time to say this
about Christmas.
I think we give a little spoiler here, though. Okay, go ahead with Christmas.
She played a really good game. She wasn't our favorite person during the Bay and Day fiasco. And her logic about nominating them didn't sit well with us because, they were our favorites. But when you think about what Christmas went through her original season, basically they should have sent her home. She had a broken foot. She wasn't really a threat. Josh and Paul were running amok, handling things. And she did have a great social game, and she played a really good social game. The thing about Christmas is I've never seen a woman cry so much in the Big Brother house, with the steps of Michelle. Michelle was a good crier. But I could tell when you see her having so much passion about the game, you can't help but nod your head and say, I respect her as a game player for the passion that she has for the game. And she was a little crazy in some cases, but that's just, she was so passionate about winning that game. And I get it. The game will send you over the edge. So she didn't have her ride and die, her no Pauls and no Joshes in there. So she did it extremely well. And she should be proud of herself, making it that far.
She did. She made it past all these other all-stars, Final Four. That's a huge accomplishment on this season. And made it past all these, people that we've said are legends in this game. And she proved herself to be very loyal to the committee.
She's very
and I think that's something to be said. If she gets to play on another season, players, and maybe she changes her strategy altogether, but I just don't think that's who she is. I think that she is a loyal person to that group, and to a fault helped them get to where they ended up, and then they sent her packing.
So, it's a tough thing to swallow, to watch when you saw these women go against each other again. And, you have these strong women who, if they would just united, it could have been a totally different.
Yes. I want to see that. I want to see that strong women's alliance on Big Brother.
I've only seen it one time in the history of reality shows. And I know they talked about the ball bashers from Big Brother Over the Top. But honestly, when I watched Serene and Parvati during that season, and those women joining forces and getting that poor little guy made him use that immunity idol. Those women were unbelievable, and that's what I like to see. These strong women getting together and go, you know what? This guy can beat us in these comps. What if we all group together and get him? And that's what they did. And if you guys don't watch Survivor, that is just fast forward that one season and get to them getting that poor guy. I forgot his name, Sam or whatever. Just get him.
Forget him. He's forgotten. Those names, man. Parvati and Sandra.
And Sari, if you guys have never watched a Big Brother player, she is probably one of the most respected and revered Big Brother players in the history of the game. She got kicked out on one of her seasons because everybody had an immunity idol.
You mean Survivor players, yeah.
Survivor.
Let's put her in the Big Brother house with some Big Brother All-Stars.
She would, the fact of the matter is she's so, like, they need to take some Big Brother players and put it on Survivor, and take some Survivor players and put them in Big Brother.
Producers, Mark Burnett, Jeff Probst, listen up. Danielle Reyes, right there.
You put it down.
You do it in a heartbeat, no question, right, Dani?
I would do it in a heartbeat. I don't think I have a chance in hell to win. I just want
fans get on it, pester them.
I just want to go to the physical, just to be out there. I've never been camping. I mean, just to see myself.
Oh, you're in trouble, Dani. You're in trouble.
It'd be funny as hell. I know y'all think I'll be good at it, but I'll be on the rock with the waves. Going, when's the Little Mermaid? Sebastian, can you help a sister out?
It's not looking good if you have never have I ever been camping, said Dani, and she wants to go on Survivor. Ooh.
It'd be funny as hell.
And for that, though, the producers might love you, and CBS might love it, because it would be such a funny story of somebody really out of their element. And then you have these survivalists on there with you. Yeah.
And then just to put Survivor people into Big Brother, because I always think Big Brother is more of a pressure cooker for stress.
Yes.
Because you're in this house and you have nowhere to go. You can't go somewhere in the ocean and have a moment to yourself. You know, so it's not like that. So I would love to see Russell Hantz up in there. I would love to see Boston Rob and the Sandras and Cerise and the freaking Danielles in there from Survivor getting in that game. That would be amazing.
I feel like you're about to set up to say that they called you, and that's going to start premiering Thursday night after Big Brother.
Once we have the moo-moo clause, I'm in there, y'all.
No, you're not eating anything. You're going to have 8-pack of abs, Dani.
I'm going to have no abs. I have no ass and no abs.
I couldn't do Survivor. That was always the thing, is I looked at reality shows that I was interested in. I need one where you have food. I like food.
You can't do without going without food.
No, the camping part's fine. I need some food.
I'll be eating that Hakuna Matata, the grub. I'll be like, this maggot looks delicious. We shall eat it.
I'd have to eat earthworms. I'd have to eat bugs. I'd eat fish, whatever.
So gross.
All of that stuff. Okay, let's get to the things that are current in Big Brother. And fans, please just start messaging Jeff Probst, send email and letters to CBS. Tell them that you want to see Danielle Reyes on Survivor. I'd love it. Okay, so we did ask Christmas, and they didn't give us the answer to this question about the final two, who she would think would ultimately win it. And I think the reason this happened last week for Memphis and then for her is because they don't want us going into with them, the last jury members, what they're really thinking, because it's so narrowed down, that pool of people to pick from. If they told us their final two and one of those people is booted, then we know who's getting their vote on finale night, most likely. So I get it. And again, we're learning next year, if Big Brother's back and I can convince Dani to do this again, we'll have so we'll start at mid-season next time. We were done by the middle.
We were so done. We're like, no one's winning. We like you.
I'm tired. All our people that we.
I'm on Jason.
Get your envelope ready for finale night.
When's the next recording, Jason? Jason, are you there?
Finale night, though, we're going to open our envelope. And Dani, when you open your envelope, okay, I've got mine too. We're going to say who we wanted to win this thing. I don't know. Maybe
I actually put first, second, and third in my envelope.
Oh, I didn't do that. I'll have to go back to the first episode and see some of my predictions.
Right
don't open it yet. Don't open it just yet.
I'm going to show you my envelope.
Oh, okay. No, mine's in a special place over there. Yep. I sealed it up. Mine's a smaller envelope than that. But got the pick of the winner. But maybe maybe this will be someone else that everybody loved, and this person wins America's Favorite Player. So who knows? And it'll be interesting, Dani, if you and I picked the same player. And through all the episodes, I'm thinking more and more and more that you and I were on the same wavelength. But that's why we work together well in season 3.
I know, isn't that crazy? Let's go play Survivor together. We could do Survivor. No one would know you and I are in alliance together. I'll shave off my eyebrows and I dye my hair blonde and walk up in there.
I need some cake. Dani, when you come back to Florida, I don't know if the last time you were here I gave you this chocolate ice cream that the grocery store, it's their brand. It's called Chocolate Trinity from our local grocery store chain. And it is to die for. And when you're having a bad day and you just sit there, you could just like finish off a half gallon of that.
I gotta cook. Yeah, I need to come visit you. I need to make some brownies, some food again.
Yeah. No, I can't do Survivor because of that. Okay, so what we're gonna do is the questions that we didn't hear from Memphis, the question that we didn't get answered from Christmas is the final 2. Who do you think it will be? And I'm going to give a spoiler here. We know the first part of the HOH went to Nicole.
Right.
Here it is. We talked about it this whole episode in the clutch moments. We've talked about it previously through the season. She just shows up, and she's done this playbook before. When she needs to at the end, show up and play. Second round of the current HOH went to Cody. So we've got Nicole and Cody facing off for that HOH. Enzo's out of the mix. He is just hoping someone who wins picks him.
Nicole will be a savage beast if she cuts Cody. If she does that, I'm like, give the girl the check.
Right her the check.
You have to give it to her. I was like, God dang. But
now that being said, don't you think Cody is going to win this whole thing?
Oh, for sure.
But I will say this. Cody, the first part of the HOH, and we haven't seen that. That's going to be part of what we're going to see in episodes leading up to finale night on the 28th, on Wednesday night, the 28th.
Is it 2 hours? It's not a 2-hour episode.
It's going to be 3, I'm sure. They're just, and then in the last 10 seconds, they'll read the key in the America's Favorite Player.
I just want to get to the America's Favorite Player because that's all we're waiting for, right?
They do that at the very end. I know.
We just want America's Favorite Player because that's when we're like, who's going to win? Who's going to win? Versus like, give it a check. Yeah, Cody,
right.
let's go. Okay, bye-bye.
But I will say this. I think this third part of the HOH, it hasn't happened yet. Obviously, it's usually going to be live on the episode. So we're going to see it play out live. It's a mental competition. And Cody's done well on some of those. But do you think this will put favor toward Nicole? Like, will this be something that favors her?
No, because Cody did well on his original season with the same comp. He does, as much as Cody does talk to people. And he kind of has an insight of what people may be thinking. He knows Kevin doesn't like him. So when it gets to Kevin's question, and if it's something that's going to be something negative about Cody, he knows to pick something negative that Kevin would say about him. Yeah. Nicole, when she won her season, remember, she wasn't taken. Paul took her. So I don't know if Nicole, because this is my thing about Nicole. Every time I picture her, I always picture her in the corner of that bed. This season, the season before that, and the season that she played before, she doesn't seem like she moves out of the corner of that bed to me. And she comes up and she does, that's just me. So if you don't come out that corner of the bed, that means you're not socializing. You're not having conversations with people to see how their brain works, right?
Yeah.
And if you spend too much in that corner because you're not getting up and fraternizing or, get along with your housemates, then that's going to be a problem. So we'll see how this goes. Like Enzo, I think would have done well on this competition because Enzo does talk to people.
Yeah.
Cody he did well on his original season. I think he's going to do well. Or do you think Cody will throw it?
Why would he do that? Cody is smart enough to know you have to hold the power, control your own fate.
What if he knows?
If he were to throw it.
What if he knows Nicole or Cody Enzo is going to take him to the final too? Because if he wins,
now it's only with Nicole,
dirty.
but he knows Nicole is cutthroat enough to get rid of him. Why would she keep him?
I don't think he thinks that.
She's got a better resume than him.
I don't think he thinks that.
Than Enzo, I mean. Cody's got the best resume in the house, and Cody deserves to win. Looking at the resume, then I would say now it's Nicole, and Enzo at the bottom. Enzo's got good social game.
Does Cody think Nicole would take him?
I think so. And just watching some of the feeds, there was talk about that. And it was interesting to see sort of Nicole's take on it leading up to the eviction that we talked about today with Christmas going out.
Yeah, she got upset where he was like, I don't know. And she's like pissed off.
But there were times where she said, do what's best for your game. And then he was like, it's to take you. I'm going to take you. I'm going to take you.
Well, when she says, do what's best for your game, she is going to cut him.
Yes.
I swear on everything I love.
I think she will too.
I'm kind of hoping Nicole wins this one. Just to give us
it would at least be exciting and dramatic on Wednesday night. Don't forget, guys, if you go there Thursday night, the show's over.
That would be just as juicy as Drew cutting Diane.
Wow, that was
hurtful when Big John from Canada cut Netta. That was hurtful. And somebody else cut somebody where you're like,
I got to go see those Canada seasons.
Canada is amazing.
I know. I keep hearing all of that. And I've met some of the players.
The comps.
I know Cindy with an S from the charity event here with, that's where I met Swaggy and Bayleigh. And then Fessy and Swaggy Brown played a basketball game for charity.
Yeah, they're all good. Ari, they're all amazing. I love Canada.
All right. Well, when this is over, we'll binge watch some Canada.
Well, you should watch it. It's actually good.
Okay. No, I've heard the casting's amazing, and I've heard that the way that some of the change up in the way the game goes.
They got twists and all kinds of crap in that thing, but they're always in their swimsuits, muumuu claws.
No, they love some beautiful people. They are beautiful. They're young and beautiful, and they're in bathing suits all day.
And the guy that won, he had no teeth, took his teeth out.
I've heard you talk about that, Dani. There's a lot I don't know about Canada,
and he said,
and about their seasons of Big Brother.
He said, "I'm taking my teeth out because people are going to underestimate me. They don't go think I'm smart." And that mofo won, and it was
amazing.
Genius.
That is brilliant.
He took his teeth out. I was like, you need to put them teeth back in your mouth. And just because of that, I need to kick you out.
Okay. So Dani, your prediction for final two. I know it's really a toss up here with Cody or Nicole winning the final HOH, but what do you think is going to happen in that live finale?
I think Nicole is going to win the final and cut Cody.
Okay. I would love to see it, but I think it's going to be like the rest of the season and very
Cody's going to win.
Cody's going to win it. He takes his boy Enzo. The Jersey boys go to final two.
Does he take Enzo?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's his boy. Yeah. He takes him. He cuts Nicole. That gives him one more. Oh, you cut a previous winner. Another notch on his resume, whatever.
And that's good because then Enzo will get second place. Enzo will get second place.
And then Enzo does well. Yeah. He goes back. He's still the meow meow. And he goes back home to Jersey. Got a little treat for his kids. Yeah. And Enzo was, and deserving of something because we did see him as a loyal player in this game. To Cody. Yeah.
Because that's it.
Memphis was like, hey, he wasn't loyal. I should have bet.
It's the root. It's me and you.
Mm-hmm. Yo. The root. I will say, I think Big Brother missed that alliance early on, Dani. Like they missed the secret alliance for you and me in season 3 of Big Brother. Because
I remember the root.
Oh, I didn't hear it talked about.
What's it called? Root or rue? What is it called?
Root, like the root of a tree that spreads out under the house, and they were going to extend the root.
Stupid name.
I agree. It works for Jimmy Fallon's band, The Roots, but the root.
Jason, what would our alliance?
But maybe he meant it like the root of all evil.
What would they call us when you and I play again for the Legends short season? What would they call us? Like, what would we call our alliance?
Well, we got to come up with a new name because we can't keep the name of the podcast. It's not secret anymore.
It is a secret. Oh yeah.
Jason, Dani.
The Alliance.
Jason. The Alliance. It's just the Alliance.
It's
the Alliance. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the Alliance.
It's the
We
Alliance.
got the Alliance. I'm in the Alliance.
The Alliance.
And on that, Dani.
Wait a minute. Are you in Alliance? I'm not in Alliance. I'm in the Alliance. It's a difference.
That's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
I think we dropped the mic. We'll see you for a live hopefully.
Make
Secret
sure you guys
Alliance,
vote.
be good, everybody.
Thank you.
Yes, remember, vote Tuesday. Watch the show Wednesday night live with us on the Secret Alliance. Make sure you subscribe.
Next week it'll be over with. Thank God. The longest season
What are you
ever.
talking about, Dani?
It's
After the
over.
election, or are you talking about the season? No, I'm kidding.
I kid. All right, love you, my
kidding,
friend.
everybody.
All right.
All right, we love you guys. Be great and be good to each other. Love you, my friend.